We are standing very close to the disaster point where the fire actually burnt an entire filling station, the Goil filling station, and many people lost their lives. Reverend Konua is actually telling his story of how he was able to survive both the fire and the flooding. He said he was washed off from the restaurant pavement. Well, Honest Chef Restaurant is where the ABC cloth, orange and blue cloth, is hanging with the ceiling hanging off. That is actually the very point where he was washed away. From how he tells the story, he was washed off the pavement and he takes us through his audio.
As we looked on, water was gushing out so strongly from somewhere we never thought into the restaurant. And because there was no outing, the place was also filled up. So finally, I had to abandon the place.
How many workers were at work at that particular time when this was happening?
Yeah, I was one, then four. 2 gentlemen, 2 ladies. And so at the restaurant where I was sitting, I sat on a table like this, a height like this. Then finally, the water was all over me, so I had to walk in the water out, which I did, and then I came up to the pavement.
All this while, where were the workers?
We all came back. No, we all came out to the pavement. As I was over there, people from Accra had come to take shelter, and they were all on top of the counter where we serve our customers. They were sitting there. We were just allowing that so that the rains could subside, and then we could do. And they were there all till 10 o'clock because the rains were not subsiding. Now, the next thing that we realized happened was nobody knew how it occurred. But the supervisor I was standing with, his name is Sammy.
The filling station supervisor?
The restaurant supervisor. He said, Rev, don't you feel the petrol in the water? I said, yes, I'm feeling it, but what can I do? He said, I'm also feeling it too. So, but nowhere to go. So we were out there on the pavement. Then the next gentleman I was talking about, because there were 2, had climbed up to the roof to save his life, I don't know. But he was up at the roof of the restaurant. Then all of a sudden I saw him brushed and came right down in front of me on the pavement. Then he told me, I have seen fire coming from the market side, so we should run for our lives. That was when my heart beat. So he didn't finish saying that to me, but he was able to drop down in front of me, and then the water splashed all over me. Then he said, it's fire. By the time he finished speaking, there was fire all on top of the water because of the petrol over there. So we were all scattered, including those who had come to take shelter. We all were scattered by the appearance of the fire. So I ran up a bit, but what I was going to hold on to had caught fire. And so the quickest thought that came to me was to go down into the water, so that I wouldn't find some burns on my body. So when I went into the water with that urgency, I lost balance in the water, and so I was flushed by the water. So the rescue came not from me, but from, and I'm saying this because that was what I saw, that the the flood had pushed an LT VW trotro down somewhere in a gutter. And on one side where you could see the two ties, on top there. So at that moment, I was able to get onto the tie. The tie of the LT. And that was where I hanged the rest.